lonesome. Until I first met you, I was lonesome. And when you came inside, dear, my heart grew light and this whole world seemed new to me. You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. And so I've racked my brain hoping to explain all the things that you did to me. Amir Shane, please let me explain. Amir Shane means you're grand. Amir Shane, again I'll explain. It means you're the fairest in the land. It means you're the fairest. It means you're the fairest. It means you're the fairest in the land. It means you're the Shane means you're grand. Amir Shane, again I'll explain. It means you're the fairest in the land.
Greetings from the Andrews sisters. I'm Patty.
I'm Maxine.
And I'm Laverne.
Say Bella, Bella, even say Wunderbar. Each language only helps me tell you how grand you are. I've tried to explain. Amir is shame, so kiss me, kiss me, kiss me. I say that you will understand.
I suppose, yes. And then you could go to, I suppose Sardi's if she's in the area. If not, there's a good place in Italy.
After all,
you can go to Little Italy.
After all, we aren't commoners.
After all, we're not savages.
We're not savages. Welcome in, everyone. This is That 20-Something Show. Welcome to the next episode, another episode of That 20-Something Show. If you are new here, I am Sundance Streams, and this right here today is not Adrian, like usual, but rather we have a very special guest on today's episode, and he goes by Uncle Francis.
I'm Uncle Francis. I'm Matt's rich uncle. Some may say he's my favorite nephew.
Yes, quite. And that actually brings us right into the topic of today's stream. Today's stream is titled, If I Were a Rich Man, Yaba Dya Deba Dum. And everyone...
I didn't know you were Jewish. That's Yiddish now.
Yes. I don't even know. Maximus. Allen Menschen machen.
Alle Menschen müssen machen. Reden tut Gatz im Kassen bis im Bibi kachen.
What does it mean?
I don't know. I don't speak Yiddish.
Strangely enough, neither did he. Anyway, yes, everyone's favorite rich uncle, Uncle Francis. Welcome to the episode. But today's episode is If I Were a Rich Man, or in anyone's case, if you had $1 million, what the heck would you do with it? That's what we want to know.
What would you do if you were me?
Or if you're reaching Jeff Bezos level and you almost have $1 trillion. This man...
Richie is all bark and no bite. It's all right.
This man... So, apparently, allegedly, it would take about $339 billion to end global warming. Just entirely. Just... Yo, what is up, pianist Mike? What's up, Mike?
Ooh,
I'd give everyone
kiss your mother with
a
that
sub.
mouth.
I'd give everyone a sub to Sundance every day for the rest of my life. You are so amazing, man. That's 5 months, man. Welcome to the chat. Thanks so much for joining us today. How have you been? I haven't heard from you in like a long time. It's been forever. I hope you're doing real well. Long time no see. Good to see you gentlemen again. Yes, if you just joined us, we've got Sundance and Uncle Francis today. Uncle Francis, everyone's favorite rich uncle. So yeah. And today we're talking about, what you would do if you were rich. So I'm glad to see that you would give everyone subs to Sundance. That would be so awesome. But thank you so much for that resub. I was talking about how it would take $339 billion to just completely end global warming. Just completely end it and reverse it, And Jeff Bezos almost has 3 times that much money. Jeff Bezos is rapidly approaching $1 trillion. He's about to be a trillionaire. How? How is that possible? How does one person have $1 trillion? It's craziness. Anyway.
It's all who you know, really.
It's all who you know. Of course. I'm sure you know lots of millionaires at least, and possibly some billionaires.
Oh. Well, obviously, yes.
You don't even associate with the millionaires. You're like...
No. We meet about every about half a year, maybe. Yes.
Oh.
Half a year.
Is that so?
Yes, we all get together so I can mix around with the commoners.
Yeah, of
Just
course.
Grace them with my presence for a bit and then leave.
Absolutely. That makes so much sense. But yeah, so I guess my question, Uncle Francis, I see that you have a nice library behind you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, of course. Is this where a lot of your money has gone?
Oh, goodness, no. Yeah, most of these books are just gifts. I've heirlooms, maybe. Some of some are just for show. My wife does most of the reading, really.
Of course.
I pick up a book once every now and then.
Of course.
Yes.
Oceana says, by the Home Alone standards, lots of grandparents. Or in Annie's case, a rich uncle for Jeff Bezos' fortune. Yo, Legend of Linz, what's up, Linz? How's it going? How is the end of your Dewind stream with Matt? I didn't get to see it. I am so sorry. I had to prep for this stream, and I had to do a lot of other things. I'm in the middle of so many things.
I'm so excited. I've never streamed before.
It's
Just happy to be here.
Yes, quite right. Today on stream, if you've just joined us, we do have Uncle Francis with us instead of Adrian.
Matthew's rich uncle,
Yes.
Francis. Thank you.
Matthew's rich uncle.
Actually, this is how I got the gig.
Absolutely. So yes, we've got Uncle Francis on stream, and it leads us right into our topic, which is if I were a rich man. So I want to know what you folks would do if money were no object. If you had $1 million, or $1 billion, or $1 trillion, or more. I want to know what you would do. I know what I would do. And I've actually been thinking about a lot of different things that I would do with that kind of money. It would be pretty insane. Do you need curling oil or something over there?
So sorry. You just caught me right after my my daily martial arts lesson, and I took a beating. Really, it's
Yeah, I got
bit
you.
uncurled.
I
But
got
it shows character.
Yes, it does.
You should see the other guy.
Yeah, of course. I think if I had a ton of money, one of the first things that I would do is I would build myself a home studio, which I am already kind of in the process of doing, but it's very much a low-key home studio, and I would actually make myself like a home recording studio, like full out. That's what I would do with a little bit of money. I think that would be super fun, because I'm really into music. So I would buy a bunch of different microphones and a nice sound setup with a soundboard and mixing equipment and all of that, and then I could have all my musician friends come over and we could jam. I would love to.
I do have one question. What would your first album be?
Well, that's a weird question because I already have an album out.
Oh, you see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So I do have one album of songs out. Just so the world knows, it's rather embarrassing because it's music that I wrote from the time I was 13 to the time I was 18. So it's real, dare I say, bad. It's just
That's the
it's bad.
prime age of creativity. Very raw.
That's true. It's a little bit angsty, and a little bit just bad, but that's fine. And so the first,
I do apologize. Are we lagging?
you were just for a moment, but you're good now.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, the album was called. So since my name is Sundance, my very first debut album was called Sunrise. And I feel like the last album of
that's clever.
Yeah, I mean, right? And I feel like the last album of my entire career will eventually have to be Sunset. Because, it's cyclical. It's cylindrical. It makes sense.
And when you come back from retirement, you make a reboot.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. You are lagging.
Yes, I'm with it.
You are lagging just a bit, but we'll struggle through.
I figured just as much.
I think it's good. I've been having, so if the stream dies, I've been having a lot of computer performance and internet issues today. So I gave my full system a reboot, and I'm hoping that it goes away, but it won't. How will you know when you're on your last album? That's a great question. I feel like when I'm on my deathbed, I will have a collection of music that I will just place in a will to make that my last album. So I will have to be already dead by the time my last album comes out. I will never stop.
Should have some music
writing.
on standby.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not even kidding. I will have collections of works that are published after. Yes, new album, Linz. I do have that coming out, which I will talk about momentarily. But yeah, I'll have a collection of songs on standby to just release post-funeral that everybody can, listen to. And it'll probably make more money than any of my music ever did because artists make more money when they're dead.
It worked for Tupac. I mean, I was just telling him the other day, and I mean,
Whoa! Matt!
uh,
Thanks so much for that resub. That's 5 months for Matt, too. Welcome in. We've got the 5-month club up in here. Okay.
Matthew, so good to see you, old boy.
Yes. Matthew, your Uncle Francis is here. Yeah.
Did I do that right?
You did. So I want to catch up on chat here for a minute. For lagging, just blame the bandwidth from the mustache.
Yes.
That's great, but your mustache is on point. Heck yes. Let me catch up with this. 5-month club. Uncle Francis, are you ever coming back with that milk?
Yes. I just haven't found my brand yet.
Exactly. All right, so I do have to address this before we get any further in the stream. Because I made an announcement about it on Discord. I am super excited to announce that I am working on a new album project. It will be that mug. Yes, I do have merch. So if you guys want to check it out, that.
Thanks for sending it, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you in Sapia right now? Hold up your mug again. Why does it look muted compared to mine?
I don't know.
That's
Too many washes, I suppose.
That's so great. That's so great. No, I don't think so. I think it's the lighting over there, but it's the lighting.
We make our own lighting back.
Yeah, right. But so actually, yes, it is. It's that vintage coloring. That's what it is. It's expensive. That's how you know it's expensive.
Primo.
He got the primo mug. But yeah, if you want to check out our merch, you can hit !merch, and we've got t-shirts, and we've got hoodies, and we've got mugs, and it's all got our faces on it, and catchy things that we say, like pomposity and stuff like that. But yeah, so...
What will you think of next?
I don't know. So what I want to talk about is this album. So this album I'm super excited about is going to be a Twitch-inspired album and a specifically silly song album, which I always love writing silly songs. They're super fun to do. I like taking a silly subject and making it exceptionally serious. And so I did that with... tuna salad sandwich. Adrian asked me to do. Sorry, I'm going to talk about Adrian. I know, but
I'm just a guest. Don't
he's
worry.
usually here. So Adrian made me do a silly song that was a love ballad to a tuna salad sandwich, and so I wrote Midnight Snack, and it has actually gained traction and popularity with other streamers on Twitch. It's so much so that they have asked to cover the song, and I have joyfully told them that they absolutely could. They're more than welcome to cover that song. It's fantastic. And it's kind of like making me just a hair Twitch famous for that song. Like everybody knows that song, which is weird. But I have a lot of large communities who have heard that song and really enjoy it. So it inspired me to do a full album. So it will be a food-related album. It's going to be great. I haven't come up with the full title of the album yet, but I'm working on it. I think it's going to be something like Out of the Fridge. That's the working title right now. And it will be all about just different foods or different meals. And it will have a variety of different types of music on it that kind of allude to the type of food that we're talking about. So, for instance, there is a salsa song about salsa.
Spicy.
Yeah. There is a, what else did I have that was weird? I can't remember. But there are a bunch of there's a variety of different styles on the album, and I'm super looking forward to it. And I have one more surprise that I can't quite announce yet, So I can't do it. I can't do it. But if you would like to keep up with that album, definitely follow us over at the Discord. And I will be dropping all of the new information about that album and when it's released and all of that kind of stuff. So please, if you would, follow that Discord, and it'll be in my music stuff, which is super fun. So I hope you're looking forward to the album as much as I am. Midnight Snack will be on it, and I'm trying to ask one of my favorite streamers, Nick Black, if his version of Midnight Snack, the tuna salad sandwich song, if I can have that as a bonus track. Because he does a fantastic cover. He took it and he kind of made it his own as well. And it's just absolutely amazing. And so I'd like to have it as a bonus track, but I have to ask him about that. So that's going to be that. Uncle Francis, are you still with us? Because it looks like you're frozen. Oh, you're back. Welcome.
Oh, no, I'm still with you. Yes.
Excellent.
I was just letting you have the floor.
Excellent.
Eat your heart out, Sinatra.
Yeah. So anyway, with that being said,
I was wondering, maybe if you could do something like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the mashed potato, but I'm sure there's something there.
Oh yes, absolutely. Actually, come to think of it, I do have a song about the mashed potato. So.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, of course. Right now, I'm working with a bunch of different titles and styles for music. So I have a bunch of different stuff picked out, and I'm currently working on it. You keep freezing on me, so I'm kind of worried about that. But are you still with me? Hello? Oh no.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Good.
Am I not?
Well, you're lagging a lot, but it happens. It comes with the territory. So anyway, I want to know, Uncle Francis, what have you, or would you like to continue to do with your fortune?
You know, it's very interesting you ask me that, because I'm the type of person who really doesn't think much about what I'm going to do with my money. I just do it. So it's very interesting having you people, I mean, all of you.
Yeah, you people.
Sorry. I can get in trouble for that now.
We're going to get canceled.
I don't know. You have some producers here. Am I doing all right? Okay.
For now.
Yeah, they just want me to finance it. So, no, it's very interesting when other folks have aspirations and wanting to, fantasizing about what they would do with so much money, which is very interesting to me, because it's I don't know, it's allowing me to see how you folks work.
Matt makes $500 a year, so calm down there.
And I couldn't be prouder. I remember just yesterday you were on your paper route. You made about, I don't know what,
5 cents.
About $1?
Yeah, $1 a day.
Maybe, yes. I'm proud of you, Matthew. There's always some room in my company should you ever want. Again, just offers out there. He's just so funny.
Yes. I think another thing that I would do if I had a ton of money is I would definitely get this stream to be better. But right now it's impossible even for people with a ton of money, because the world has a graphics card shortage. So, those Bitcoin miners. Yes. That's what's taking over the graphics card universe. For those of you who are nerdy enough to know what I'm talking about, I appreciate you. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Quiet, yes.
Quiet, right?
I know all that's happening, yes.
And those NFTs. My graphics card is going for 4 times the price when I bought it. Yeah, no, that's stupid. That's just dumb. I would like to...
Yeah, I didn't know much about NFTs, but
yeah.
I should say the Broncos, maybe.
That's... You're funny, but you're lagging too, so it made it a little less funny. I'm so sorry. Screw the computer. It's the computer's fault. I feel like you're gonna leave me again. Oh, you're making noise. It's weird.
Yes, the Broncos, definitely.
Ah, there you are.
I've been married 3 times. You'll live.
So,
Yes, here I am.
So, yeah, you're just lagging a whole lot. It's kind of ridiculous. But, I think that brings us to one of our favorite segments here on this show. And that is a segment that we like to call... On this day in history. On this day in 1911, gold is discovered in Alaska's Indian Creek.
We tried that out already.
Of course you have, Uncle Francis.
I haven't. I would. But perhaps my grandfather, I think. Yes.
Your grandfather. Well, it was 1911. It's probably only your father, Uncle Francis.
You have no idea how long my grandfather lived. Believe me, we were counting the days.
Oh, boy. But yeah, anyway, I thought it was interesting that gold was discovered in 1911 in Alaska. People living up in Alaska in 1911? That's ridiculous. They probably live very similarly to the way they do now.
Actually, that's why we have fur coats.
That's why. Papa did it, and he didn't leave me anything. Aw, poor Matt. Sorry, man. That's too bad.
Telling you, Matthew, my offer still stands.
But
Junior left already. He's moved out finally.
Finally.
You could have his chambers.
But welcome in if you have just joined us. We are talking about what would you do if you had $1 million, except for that $500 a year. That is true. What would you do if you had $1 million or more? What would you do if money was no object to you whatsoever? We want to know. Drop it in chat. Say hello. And thanks for being here. Thanks for coming.
You know, currently I'm in the market for an elephant.
You're looking for an elephant, huh?
Yes.
I think that's deemed cruelty now. I think that's not okay. I don't think you can have elephants anymore.
Oh, you haven't seen how I spoil my pets.
Oh, you're going to treat that elephant right. I think elephants are awesome, actually. I love that elephants can paint and enjoy it. Like, I think that's super fun. Like, I love
That's
elephants.
actually why I'm getting an elephant. I have a huge house. I need it painted.
No, that's not what I meant.
We tried hiring a human to do it, especially every 2 years. It's like pulling teeth.
Hello,
With an elephant, it's easy.
Welcome in. That is true. With an elephant, you could get those walls done real quick. Welcome in. It is we have a special guest on the stream today. It's Matt's Uncle Francis, everybody's favorite rich uncle. Legend of Lynn's redeemed to cheers. Cheers, Legend of Lynn.
Oh,
cheers.
Yes, I know this one. Thank you.
Hello, Mother of the Dancing Sons. That's funny. You can Banksy it since he got live elephant for a show once. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
You must get me his number.
Yeah, I mean, the only elephants I've seen in shows have been CGI, so that's fun. LOL. A lot of purple people up in the chat, at least on my...
Whoa, you can't do that. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're canceled. No, but at least on my end, Oceana, Matt, Purple, and Mike are all like shades of purple, which is kind of crazy. I'm just looking at a sea of purple in the chat, which is kind of awesome. That's it, folks. We're canceled. I can't say purple people.
Well, at least I made it in this show.
It's offensive to Violet Beauregard. Maybe I'm just colorblind. I could be. Or it could be different for you guys. It does do that sometimes. Who knows?
Would you like help correcting that? I know a guy.
Wait, you know a guy to fix colorblindness?
Yes, I got money.
What a great answer. Of course I know a guy. So, what would you do, Purple? What would you do with $1 million or more? What would you do if money was no object whatsoever and you could have anything your heart desired? I feel like I would also definitely, like, if I were super rich, I would actually try to invest in, like, good things for the world too. Like, if I had enough money, I definitely would invest in clean energy for the country and stuff like that. I would definitely be into that.
Solar freaking roadways. That's where you need to go.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Solar freaking roadways.
Was this money earned or given? That's a great question. I never thought about that. I feel like it was earned. But a lot of times it's a little bit of both. And I think it can be both. And is it taxed? Of course it's taxed. We all know that.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, even with taxes, you're set. You're fine. You got it. You know, you've found all of the tax loopholes that all of the rich people do. And you are fine. So, rich people don't pay. Exactly, Matt. You know what I mean. I would pay my boys' student loans. Oh, yeah, that would definitely be a thing that I would do. I would pay off my student loans. I'm going to have to be rich to do that. And then buy a baseball stadium and team. That's awesome. That's how they stay rich. That is true, Matt.
That is true, yes.
But yeah, I would love that. I think that would be so fun to like own a baseball stadium and a baseball team. I think that would be super great. It would be a ton of fun to.
You know what I would like?
Just have
I'd like.
kind of entertainment.
I would get a small mansion. No, it's not something big. Just a small mansion.
Of course.
And of course, I would just have like big rooms, and each room would be dedicated to a different board game. Like Sorry, I would love to play some Sorry there.
Look, just a sorry room. That's
oh
great.
yes.
I'll buy a team and change their name to the Dumpster Fires. And now, the Detroit Dumpster Fires. Yikes.
You know, it'd be perfect. You would have to sell at the concession stand or a gift shop, of course. You should get banners and flags, you know, with fire colors, and you could just start waving it around. The whole audience would look like they're on fire. I thought it's perfect. Let's invest in it.
That actually would be kind of cool. That's a great idea. I love that.
Of course, no smoking. No smoking there.
No smoking in the stadium.
Too much of a fire. You're asking for it.
Yeah, right? And the Dumpster Fires win the World Series. That's great. That's awesome. That would be funny. That would be great. I would love that. I would love to do weird things like that. I think the other thing I would have to do, I mean, you know me, my two interests are hugely music and theater. So since I already said that I would build my own home studio that is like full out a nice home studio, I would also 100% build a theater in some place that doesn't have one. So that people would have the opportunity to see live theater that they wouldn't necessarily have otherwise. I gotta catch up on chat for a minute. Dad would travel, so I'd probably go with him. That's nice. The dumpster tailgating would be awesome. You'd never have to bring your own grill. Bowling alley in my basement. Oh, that's super cool. That would be a ton of fun. Like, I would love to have like a small bowling alley, like 2 lanes, and then like a pool table, ping pong table, you know, the things that casual rich people have in their houses, and then a bunch of like arcade games. That would be super fun.
Ooh, I have an arcade room downstairs actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's like a Dave and Buster's in there.
Did you just say a David and Buster's?
Yes.
Of course.
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, no, I know. I went to this new place in Rockford. It's called Tilted 10, I think. But it's a better Dave and Buster's. In my opinion, it's better than Dave and Buster's. # not sponsored. But yes, it's at the mall, Matt. And it's pretty awesome. It's pretty fantastic. They took up where like one of the department stores, JCPenney or Sears or something like that, where that used to be. They took up both floors of it on the mall. And so it is this huge Chuck E. Cheese for adults. Like, it's awesome. It's super cool.
Oh, that's perfect.
I would make my
See,
own...
I installed the arcade games for Junior, but then he left. He only played with it about twice.
Oh, yeah?
Ungrateful little pro.
Yeah. It was the Sears. Thanks, Matt. I would make my own animation studio for old school cell animation. Ooh. But really, I just want to buy the grocery that I worked at and demote the old assistant store manager. And then I can tell that's what you get for telling me to go to work for free. Ah, that's great.
Name the grocery store, Oceana. I'm on it. I'll do it. Let's buy it.
So it's so funny that you say stuff like that, because there have been multiple situations, like my entire life, where I have been like, I want to be in charge of this because I know that I could do this thing better. I know this is really ridiculous and stupid, but my 8th grade science class, I did not like my teacher at all, because it is a science class and everything was out of a book. We didn't do any kind of anything, and it was all just written. We had to take notes on his lectures, and then we would do written exams. There was no actual science going on whatsoever. It was like an English class.
That's boring.
But over the topic of science. And I'm like, I know that I could do this better. And it made me want to become a science teacher. And then when I worked at a restaurant for a little while, the manager was doing things that were kind of, iffy customer service-wise. And I was like, I know that I could do that better. And it made me want to become a restaurant manager, even though I've never wanted to be a restaurant manager in my life. It made me want
just so you could do it better.
Just so I could do it better. So that's funny that you would want to buy the buy the grocery store. Weren't you homeschooled? No, yes. I was homeschooled until my 8th grade year. And then 8th grade through high school, I was in public school. So I'm not talking about mom that way. But besides, mom didn't teach me much science anyway. I took homeschool classes at the Discovery Center, which were awesome. And so that's where I got a lot of my science education. Although, we did cool things that we could do at home. But there's just some stuff you can't do at home. We can't play with liquid nitrogen at home. That's not a thing we can do.
I had a private tutor when I was growing up. Yes, my father actually hired Jacques Cousteau.
Ah, yes. But of course. Jacques Cousteau, isn't he like an oceanic biologist or something like that?
That he was.
Yeah.
He was.
I couldn't remember his full title, but it's something like that.
He would speak to me like this and would want to make sure that I was listening to focus. Made me laugh. Made me laugh entirely. Really. Hilarious, man.
Of course. But of course. And who was your math tutor by any chance? Did you have one? Did you have Einstein or something? No shark dissection in my house. Yeah, no. The dissection things were not allowed. Yeah, a lot of my science education came from the Discovery Center because it was a lot of that. It was a lot of hands-on science that just wasn't allowed at home. So
I once had to dissect a pig.
Yeah?
I didn't like it.
No, not fun.
No.
It just smells a lot like formaldehyde. But the
But on the
mitochondria is the
good,
powerhouse.
on the
of
good
cell.
side, I found my car keys.
Oh, well, that's nice and gross. Anyway, folks, we are going to take just a short break. But, as I always say, don't touch that dial. We will be right back right after this.
to the house, my day at my back. Throw down all my things, I just wanna relax. Dinner's in the oven, there's a drink in my glass. I'm hitting the couch and I'm not moving my ass. But when I try to stream, there's nothing on my screen, and Netflix says that it can't play that title. Why can't it work the first time? Oh, I think I'm going out of my mind. I'm having technical difficulties once again. I just wanna chill and hang with all of my friends. I'm existing in perpetual loading land. When will my Zoom call end? I'm having technical difficulties again. PowerPoint's not working and Hulu won't play. My internet's too slow for Grand Theft Auto updates. My computer just crashed, I forgot to hit save. Why can't this technology just ducking behave? I want to charge my phone, but my charging cable's broke, and Amazon's updating all their servers. I can't find my mouse cursor. This night it can't get any worse. I'm having technical difficulties once again. I just wanna chill and hang with all of my friends. I'm existing in perpetual loading land. When will my Zoom call end? I'm having technical difficulties again. Life is too crazy to be waiting around for new technology to give me better sound. I want this loading screen to finish on up, 'cause I'm through waiting patiently, I don't give a fuck. I'm having technical difficulties once again. I just wanna chill and hang with all of my friends. I'm existing in perpetual loading land. When will my Zoom call end? I'm having technical difficulties once again. I just wanna chill and hang with all of my friends. I'm existing in perpetual loading land. When will my Zoom call end? I'm having technical difficulties again.
Anything that I could possibly
Hello,
do?
everyone, and welcome back. Sorry about that. We're still struggling through some technical difficulties. This will probably end up being a shorter stream than usual, but that is okay.
Much to our chagrin.
Much to our chagrin. We're sorry. It's just there's a ton of lag going on and all kinds of craziness. But that is okay because I have a 12-hour workday tomorrow, so I need sleep anyway. I have a 12-hour
Now I'm
workday.
vacationing with Uncle Francis, so I don't care.
I know, it's so sad. But yes, it might be a little bit shorter than usual. But
Tell the folks I love him. I will tell them.
Everybody, welcome Adrian back to the stream. Hello, Adrian. Well,
It's nice to be back. By the way, he lent me a couple curtains so I can use as a backdrop. It's all great.
of course, they're actually made out of real money.
I know, isn't it great?
The craft.
I get used to this.
That is true, Matt. That is true. But anyway, Adrian, you need DuckTales Uncle Scrooge Money Pit.
You have no idea how many times I've done that already. It hurts, by the way. It's not as liquid as you think.
That's true, Linz. Adrian, you missed a great first half of this stream. I'm super sorry that.
That's all right. I'll have dinner with him later.
Yeah, you guys will
the service
catch up.
here. James, could I have a? Thank you. I don't even need a tissue, but I thought it'd be great. We waited on. We're still on for dinner, aren't we? Of course we are. Now get out of here.
You did not miss too much, Noah. You just missed all of Matt's rich Uncle Francis, so that's too bad. And we are having some technical difficulties, so it's going to be shorter than usual. But welcome in. So we definitely need to know, for all of those who are just joining us now, or who joined us over our short break, we need to know, what would you do if you had all the money that you could ever want, and you could do anything you wanted with it? What would you do?
I'd be living the life of Uncle Francis.
Yes.
This guy has got it figured out.
Living in the lap of luxury. Peel me a grape.
Also, I don't know how to put this and not sound like a creep or anything, but dude, who says money can't buy happiness? His wife.
Of course.
Beautiful woman.
I mean, obviously, because, he's loaded. So.
Oh, they're so happy, though. I think she makes them laugh.
Travel. Linz, you would travel. I would love to travel. I have had the fortune to travel out of the country one time to go to Italy, and it was the best. And then I brought COVID back to the United States, single-handedly destroying the nation. And not a big deal.
Let me just say, it wasn't the brown guy. I'm gonna chalk that one up for you.
Yes, then I'd be a rich man. A bitty, 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 bitty bum. Thank you for getting it, Micro. But yeah, I had the fortune of going out to Italy, and I'll tell you what, it was quite the experience. I highly recommend that anybody who can travel, because it's awesome. And it's so great to see, foreign countries that live a completely different lifestyle than you would ever think of. And it's just awesome to see and participate in that culture. It's really cool.
Italy is definitely on my list. Somewhere else I want to go to is Spain. I would love to go to Spain.
Yeah.
Not run with the bulls, but at least watch it.
At least watch people run with the bulls. Those morons.
I trip easily, so I'm not.
Not today.
I don't want to be that dummy.
Yeah, right. I definitely would want to go to Greece at some point. I would love to see Greece. I think that would be a very cool place to go.
That'd be awesome.
And then
hear me out.
Yeah.
Let me propose this for when we're both rich, or one of us is, and the other one can mooch off the other.
I love how you have high hopes for both of our wealth. It's great. When we're both rich.
That or when our friend Amber gets rich and famous. That's when we always decided we were gonna just ride off her coattails and mooch off of her. But I think let me suggest a trip in which it's like we'll do around the world in 80 days. Just like have this itinerary of like just traveling all these different places.
Oh yeah.
Under 80 days.
Yeah, I would love to do that. And now it's super easy to do that.
Oh yeah. So there's so much more you could experience.
Exactly. And we'd have to see like all of the wonders. And we'd have to hit all of the very touristy
100%.
destinations. But my favorite part about traveling, my very favorite part about traveling is going to the place that no one's been. That only the locals know. That's my favorite part.
The Kardashians' house?
No.
Because we all know that's not their real house. That's just a set.
No. Going to the place.
Area 51?
Yes, exactly. Can we talk about how this year has been so wild that the government said UFOs exist and nobody cares?
They planned it, dude. Like they're like, wow, everybody's worried about everything else going on. If we just slip this in, it'll just pass by and then we can just say, well, we did our due diligence. We told them.
We told them. We told the people. It's so funny because like a lot of people that have heard about that are like, yeah, you know, the government came out and said this, and, and nobody's talking about it. And a lot of people haven't even heard about it. And that's the point. It's like, what? How have you not heard about this?
No, they're clever. They know when to say things.
We had to sell out on toilet paper to realize UFOs don't matter anymore. Oh.
You know, I mean, yeah, I guess kind of jokingly, but also not. I guess a realistic thing I would do if I had, you know, a shit ton of money, would be to, number one, go to the doctor and just like get out. You know, just get. Not like just making sure like find anything in like, that's that's going on in me that's wrong. You know, maybe some like teeth need to be fixed or like I don't know like or what have you. Just making sure I'm a complete bill of health. And I just take care of all that, you know, like everything. I don't have to worry about it later.
Right? That would be kind of great.
Like anything bad that's going on, I'm like, yeah, I'll just fix that, and that. There you go.
Right. To break it to the people that UFOs are real. Yes, we've gotten to that point. It's like the episode of Parks and Rec when they go to all the doctors in one day. Yeah, that's true. That's right.
What is that show?
It's a good show. It's super fun.
It's a great show. You know, I just started rewatching The Good Place.
Ooh, The Good Place is also a good show.
I'm trying to get my sister to watch it.
That's the other thing I would do if I had a ton of money. I would be an executive producer. I would 100%.
Oh, dude, we should have our own production company.
And
then we'll call the shots.
What I would do too is I would just sit back and chill at home watching Netflix. And when I hear that a show that I like is going to be canceled because of funding and because the producers don't want to do it, I would 100% step in and be like, here's all of my money. Keep producing this show because it's really good.
Kim's Convenience, I would hop on that and say, all right, nope, reviving it.
Revive. Yeah,
keep
100%.
Going. There's more to the story. We need to finish this well.
I would 100% produce Community to its...
For the movie. They need their movie.
They need their movie. That's so true.
Yep.
And they also should have had a better 4th, 5th, and 6th season. They should have had the full extent of those seasons, but there was some backstage
I would have
drama,
liked a better wrap-up.
Yeah. Just do like Netflix did for Arrested Development. Yeah. # 6 seasons in a movie. Yes. Everybody knows. Everybody has seen Community. That's so great.
Yeah. Forget your Friends reunion. We're waiting for that movie.
What is that? I still haven't seen it. I still have not seen it.
I've seen clips of it where I was worried that, you know, Matthew Perry was drunk, but you know, apparently it was he had this dental thing. No, he had this dental thing apparently.
But bust open PayPal, send it, and watch Netflix switch into a new season coming soon. Heck yeah. I love that. I love that so much. I think that, you know, there are a lot of different shows that deserve their funding. I think Gallivant is one of them. Do we have any Gallivant fans in the chat?
Oh, absolutely.
Gallivant,
or at the very least, King Richard spinoff. At the very least, King Richard spinoff.
Yeah, man.
I don't care who you are, but King Richard like really stole the show later on.
Speaking of which, I hope he's doing well. Is that one? Yes.
He's doing better.
Weird Al was in it.
For the
yes.
media.
Weird Al was in it at one point in time. But the entirety of the show, musically, is written by Alan Menken. And it's a sitcom in musical form. Or a musical in sitcom form. Whichever way you want to take it. And it's just really good. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I believe it's still on Netflix. Maybe not. I actually think they might have taken it off of Netflix.
Maybe in the U.S. because it's not down here.
I don't know. I haven't seen the first D&D episode of Community. That's because it was taken off of every streaming platform because of racism.
You can find but you can find it on YouTube, but it's it's in 7 parts, I think. But
here's
it's
the
there.
dumbest thing about that. It's not racist at all. It's not. It's 100% not racist. He's the character puts on black makeup to dress as a dark elf, not as a black person. So I don't know why it's racism when it's not actually blackface. It's costume makeup. It's not
right.
It's not minstrelsy. It's not.
I think they felt. I'm not one to assume really. Like I don't like doing that. But at least with this, I think it may have come from people really, I guess, indulging in what Shirley's character was. Reaction to that.
Oh, probably.
That's probably it, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's pretty ridiculous though. I think that's wrong because it's just perpetuating the idea that I don't know. I think that's perpetuating cancel culture a little too far. I think it is.
Yeah, I think so too.
And because we have to draw a line, and that was clearly it's not racism because it was not derogatory in any way. It was not even in reference to the African American community. It was literally a dark elf. It was an elf. Okay?
Not to get us canceled, but I think cancel culture and the ability to act with it's kind of like a double-edged sword that we just don't know how to use yet.
Yeah, also cancel culture doesn't exist. So there's that. Cancel culture isn't really a thing. Cancel culture is something that has been made up by the media a lot. Like the Dr. Seuss books that were canceled. No, they weren't.
Yeah.
The Dr. Seuss estate decided to pull a couple of books. Nobody canceled them. That wasn't a thing.
They just weren't selling as much as the others.
They're trying to cancel Father's Day? Why?
Because down with the patriarchy, that's why.
Dads don't matter. Oh, boy.
That's okay. It's not like you just needed your mom to make you, but that's fine.
Yeah, right. I don't get that. Why are they trying to cancel Father's Day? That doesn't make any sense.
Is that an actual thing? I thought that was a joke.
That's so... I hope it's a joke. But if it's not, the problem is, in today's society, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not a joke.
Because if I'm not getting celebrated for getting somebody pregnant, then what am I doing here?
Don't you dare add that quote, Matt. Don't you dare. That's so
Which one?
Context.
Oh, dads don't matter.
That's so out of context.
I'm glad they took yours and not mine directly after.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
Take that, Court.
I appreciate you. Steve Buscemi. I love how we have a Steve Buscemi quote in there.
Still, don't get me wrong. Morgan Freeman did great, but I think still to this day, my favorite actor who's played God before has got to be Steve Buscemi.
Of course. In the
Miracle Workers?
Worker. Yeah,
So
Miracle
good.
Workers. Yeah, it's so good. The Miracle Worker. But yeah, it's a great one. So, what else? What else would you do with a ton of money?
What I would do? First of all, I not to sound like a supervillain, but can you imagine being so disgustingly rich? No, almost, because can you imagine being so disgustingly rich and wealthy that you could buy out Disney?
Yes.
Can you imagine? Like, as much as I love Disney, you don't want the kingdom to be in my hands.
Right. Right. I think that a lot of people like Jeff Bezos could buy out Disney. Jeff Bezos 100% could buy Disney, the entire corporation.
Oh, yeah.
It's only like a $265 billion corporation right now.
I like how you say only.
Yeah, it's only $265 billion. Jeff Bezos can afford like 3 Disneys. That's dumb. That's dumb rich. Okay, that's like stupid rich.
That's lunch money. I know.
I'd go kick my old racist boss in the nuts. That's great. Take that, Disney, for being Monopoly. Only is the keyword.
There is a Disney monopoly.
There is, but what organization was it? Oh, Shrek. Shrek was like, screw you, Disney.
Oh yeah.
I loved that. I thought that was great.
They got bought out by Illumination.
DreamWorks did, or
DreamWorks did, yeah.
No way! I did not know
Yeah.
that. That's crazy. Wait, is this a serious thing? Jeff Bezos is buying out MGM. Is that real, Oceana? I must know.
Amazon did. Amazon bought MGM. Yeah.
No way! I mean,
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos is no longer in charge of Amazon. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but last I read
But but
Amazon bought out MGM, or at least they're in the process of.
that's super cool. That's so weird. I feel like you could do that. Yeah, that is true, Matt. You could
Which I
probably
don't
go
mind
kick
because-
your boss in the nuts without being rich.
Because I think that opens up the possibility of a promising Pink Panther reboot.
Yeah.
I'm holding out on that. I'm
I
still
guess.
holding out for a good Pink Panther reboot.
I could see it.
Don't get me wrong, I love Steve Martin, but it wasn't the same as what I was used to.
You know what I would like to see, and maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe this is dumb.
No, it's a safe
I
space.
should-
It's
I
our
should-
show.
No, I should stop talking right now. I'm gonna get
No,
a lot of.
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna get a lot of hate for this.
Dish it out.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but hear me out. They're rebooting a ton of things, but with all the technology we have and all of the stylistic choices we can make, why aren't they doing the classics? Why aren't we doing Casablanca?
Oh,
Like, why haven't we done a modern Casablanca? Why haven't we done it?
I think
Is
that
it
also
too
falls into
classic?
that's the thing. I think there's so much, not to say hypocrisy, but probably hypocrisy in Hollywood that you see things like Citizen Kane, Casablanca, and then you realize they go, oh, that's too good. You can't touch that. But
But is it?
I don't know,
though?
dude. Like I would love to redo Casablanca.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Of course, no CGI.
No, you would have to do it
Oceana
really
style.
well. No, you'd have to do it really well. But with the modern technology, we could do it so well. It wouldn't have to be CGI. It would just be good. And not that Casablanca isn't good, because that sounded like that's what I was saying. But like, it could just be a good
there's
recreation of it. Go ahead.
There is a reboot for Wizard of Oz in the works, I think.
Really?
Yeah, sorry. I was reading Oceana Star's comment.
Well, yes.
I thought, I could have sworn I read that they're
That's crazy. So some of the classics low key suck. There's so much good in them though, and I think they low key suck because the expectation wasn't what it is now. And I think if we just raise the acting bar,
that's
then
true. That's very true.
I think the writing is good. I think it's just the acting and the staging and everything like that. Because I mean, if we're talking about like Casablanca and stuff like this is in the prime of film, right out of the era of silent film, where everything had to be real schmacky to get the point across.
Yeah.
And so acting was not good. It wasn't the
You know what
best.
I'd like to see remade? Sundance, I think you've seen the movie. Like, I know I've watched it with you before. But the Thin Man, I would love to see the Thin Man getting redone with not exactly just the movie, but like the franchise with Nick and Nora Charles, because I think it'd be kind of cool to have a whole franchise on this this married couple detective sort of story. I really enjoyed like their chemistry as two characters. I really enjoyed that, so I think it'd be kind of cool to bring back that kind of dynamic.
So I just realized something, and this is a total derailment, but we're going to talk about it because it's our show.
I mean, well, the thing is, realistically, if we had a lot of money, we'd be doing a lot of stuff in the entertainment business. So.
Yeah, 100%. But I just
Also, I would fix all the fucking ice cream machines in McDonald's. Excuse my French, but that's what I would do if I were
Sacre bleu.
filthy rich.
So I want to read Oceana's comment, and then I've got to get to my thing because
Go ahead.
I
Go
gotta
ahead.
say this. But look at Ghostbusters. The movie wasn't great, but they had good cast. But their movie script was horrible. But the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Afterlife has more promise because the son of the OG director is doing it. On top, Dan Aykroyd, who wrote that movie, has ties or is part in it as well. Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, real quick,
Yeah,
Matthew.
Ghostbusters in
Matt
2016 was a
says
train
it's
wreck.
rubbing off. Francis, sorry. No, yeah, absolutely. That's the thing that drew me in for that movie was the cast. But again, yeah, the script was not what what I was expecting due to the hype. But yeah, Matt says the companies feed on nostalgia, and that's why Lion King gets remade. But yeah, that's the thing. A lot of the media that comes out here and entertainment is being pumped out because of nostalgia, and which is why, funny enough, after a hiatus, the next topic will be about nostalgic reboots, but mainly because they often get changed in the genre gets changed throughout the reboot, which makes it interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But again, to your thing.
So my thing was, I was thinking about movies throughout time, and I was thinking about how in the 70s and 80s and 90s, early 90s primarily, there were a lot of films about the future and future technology and how future technology would be so awesome. And I was thinking, I was like,
Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Like, people
no,
were hyping up because
that
of the
was-
year coming up.
that was
Yeah.
exactly what I was talking about when I was thinking about that. I was thinking about movies like Back to the Future or Bicentennial Man with the robots and all of this kind of stuff. And I was thinking, I was like, there haven't been a lot of films that do that now. And then I was like, that's a lie. There have been a ton of films that talk about the future and technology. It's just always in a negative light now.
Yes.
It's never cool. It's never like, oh, we're going to have sick hoverboards. It's like, oh, we're going to destroy the human race.
And that's because we're realizing it. Like, that's where we're actually realizing that the way we're going, it's not going to end well.
Yeah, now it's more like future dystopia. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Linz. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's like that Black Mirror, Tenet. It's like all of these kind of weird, surreal, like, this is what society has become because of technology. Can we really believe it? And yeah, it's kind of crazy now. So,
On the other side of the coin, dude, you should, also keep in mind all the period pieces that that get pumped out.
that's true. We're talking a lot about the past now, where we didn't as much. Yeah.
Or even romanticizing it. Like, I haven't seen it, but just what my some friends are talking about Bridgerton.
Yeah, I was about to
it's
say
like-
about Bridgerton. Yeah, I haven't
It's
seen
like
it either.
it's very apparently it's very period, but it just it's I don't know, something about it feels very modern the way they're telling me.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting in how you romanticize
It's a
the
modern
past.
it's a modern drama, but set in the past.
Yeah, like that's
from
what
what
we're
I've heard.
romanticizing now.
Yeah.
The past.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. It's just an interesting concept, But yeah,
It's
that's
Hollywood in and of itself has grown up into being that, guy in his 30s, like looking back to like, what could have been.
right. And that's why I think so. I definitely 100%, and I think it's timed really well. Excuse me, I hiccuped. I'm okay.
Oh.
And then I just inhaled my own saliva. But I'm just having a hard time on stream. All is well.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's very well timed. Art is super well timed from now to exactly 100 years ago. And it has been this well timed for a while. At least since the 80s and 90s. It's been like 100 years ago, we were doing the exact same thing. And even now in the 2020s, we're doing very similar things to what we were doing in the 20s in art, in the 1920s in art and stuff, which I find fascinating. But I think that provides people like us who are growing into the industry an opportunity to seize that moment and get a little bit ahead of the curve and say, okay, what were they doing in the 30s? Because we're gonna reboot that with our own spin, and we'll look at that. Look at the 1920s movie Metropolis. I'm sorry, I gotta catch up on Oceana's comments here. People want to go back to the past as a simpler time versus being a fast-moving world that we live in now. That's super true. Whereas back in the 80s and 90s, technology was first starting to like really kick in, and we were getting a bunch of new things, and so they were excited about what the future held, which is why we have that change in mindset now. But we all want nostalgia too. That's true. So the 1920s movie Metropolis. Please write that down, somebody. For the life of me, I'm not going to remember that. So what was the 1920s movie Metropolis about, Oceana? Because I'm not as cultured with 1920s films, apparently. But also, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please drop it in the Discord. I would love to check it out. But basically, I have noticed this with theater. I've noticed this with music. I've noticed this with film. We are repeating ourselves exactly 100 years later. Rent was written and became a Broadway musical exactly 100 years after La Boheme, the opera it was based off of. Exactly 100 years. The jazz era of the 1920s, you know, the Gatsby era of music, the swing, that style of music is coming back right now in pop music. That's where we get, you know, all of the influences in our pop music now are very much jazz.
Oh, like what's that Ariana Grande song that takes you know, my, you know, favorite things?
Seven Rings or something like that. Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to think of a specific one right now. It was not Ariana Grande, but it was a it's gone now. Oh well. But the jazz era is coming back, you know, in hip hop and in pop music. It's definitely coming back. It's just all jazz. Oh, Billie Eilish is really good at that's what I was gonna say, is Billie Eilish My Future.
I thought you were gonna say Billy Idol, and I was here for the ride.
No.
I'm like, okay.
I'm talking about
I'll follow.
current pop music. So Billie Eilish, her song My Future is just a standard jazz chord progression. It is just jazz. It is straight jazz from the 1920s and 1930s. But it's straight jazz. And she just put pop lyrics over it, and it's got a real poppy sound. Boom. Hit. I mean, Billie Eilish is awesome at that kind of stuff. And her producer, who's her brother Phineas. I'm kind of in awe of Phineas because he produces some weird things that I'm really into. But he does that. He just uses jazz.
Do you remember all about that bass?
Yeah, I do.
You know, like the sound of it, or at least the you know, the music. The music feels very very nostalgic, very throwback.
It's straight doo-wop. I mean,
exactly. Yeah, like, that's what it is.
It's actually like Motown. I mean, like it's actually like doo-wop or Motown. Straight out of that era. Look,
you know who cashes in on or at least has great success due to due to nostalgia is you know, oh my god, Postmodern Jukebox.
That's true.
And dude, Richard Cheese. Do you remember Richard Cheese?
Yes, I do remember Richard Cheese.
making like lounge covers to all these, all these pop songs.
See, but I think that does something different. I
Right, but I'm talking about, actually working with the nostalgia to to garner some
no, and
uh
I know that's what you're talking about. I think what that does though is it just further proves how we're using similar things, we're just tweaking it a bit. And so
Yeah.
if you can sing postmodern jukebox, if you can sing a jazz cover of this song, it's just a jazz song set in a pop world. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it is. They didn't have to work real hard to change these postmodern jukebox songs, especially with some of them. Like anything by Bruno Mars or even John Legend or like any Sam Smith, anything like that, it's all jazz. It's all just jazz. I love it. I'm going to sound like a super snob, but I love jazz. You like jazz?
I hate it.
So, I got to catch up on this chat.
Yeah.
Noah says, let's not revisit the 30s. Agreed. You know, if I was a rich man, I would get back to the topic. Get out of here. If I was a rich man, we would not be revisiting the 30s. It was ahead of its time as a future dystopia, but with factories and cities building up. That I'm assuming you're talking about Metropolis from the 20s, which makes sense. But the first robot piece, I think, or one of the first. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to check it out. Oceana also says, look at Daft Punk. They ripped so many tracks from 60s and 70s. Yeah, for all of their records. I love Daft Punk. I have their Random Access Memory on vinyl. It's so good. Love it.
I listen to Touch whenever I'm down.
Wait, Matt? No way. Did I know this already? Junie Cortez.
Yeah.
Junie
We mentioned it here.
Is married to Junie Cortez is married
To Meghan
to
Trainor.
That's
Yeah, we've talked
so
about it
good.
here.
I love that. I always forget that because what? What?
I like how it's one of those facts that you always forget about, but you're always so glad when you hear about it.
Right? I'm always surprised, but I'm never disappointed. You know what I mean?
You know what I would if I were stinking rich?
What?
Again, going with the whole, running my own production company, but I would legit actually start off,
Yes, the Spy Kids kid, Oceana.
yes.
Go ahead.
Sorry. A certain area of the production.
Why is it when you're speaking you freeze? Yes, Alexa Vega is married to someone from Big Time Rush, which is crazy.
Directors.
Hey,
I
you're
would
back.
100%.
You totally froze during that entire conversation. So
Okay, so anyway, long story short.
yeah.
What I'm saying is, if my production company would 100% try to find and fund, and like finance some aspiring directors or people who are just beginning, to give them like, I don't know, like a good project, like a good, very well put together project, to fit what they envision. Because it always sucks when you have this great idea and you want to make a movie for it, but the financial aspect is pulling you back on it.
Yeah.
I hate that. So, I would hate for someone else to feel that way. So I would love to do that for other people if I had that much money.
Especially independent people,
Exactly.
I would love that. The other thing I would love to do is I would love to donate to universities that have growing theater programs. I love growing theater programs because it's a chance to really build a strong program. And, especially coming from a growing theater program, I can see how much, a donor could do to bring that program to the height. If we had some people come in here and really donate to our program, I'm sure we could skyrocket. But unfortunately, nobody who is involved with the university cares about the arts. So we just are stifled by the fact that we only have one professor and they are unwilling to hire any more. Um, and so it sucks, but I would be so interested in donating to not just one, not just, not just my alma mater, but a bunch of growing theater programs,
Oh,
especially
dude,
at the university
absolutely.
level. It would be awesome. Do you think it's Hollywood not wanting to take the risk on new content versus doing a reboot? I think it's rather a lack of
Yeah,
I think it's a lack of new content. I don't think it's
that's
that they're not willing to take a risk. I think it's that they just don't have a lot of people putting in the work and writing new content. I think a lot of people I truly believe we're in an artistic recession. Because of everything that's going on in the world. I think that we're in an artistic recession because I think that a lot of people are afraid to express themselves at this
and
point in time.
and you know what? I agree with that. I'm not just saying that, you know, that it's only reboots and reimaginings of nostalgia. I do know that there are, new new ideas, new stories that are being put out there, but it's just not as much as it used to be.
Yeah.
For example, like look at Broadway. Sure, there are a lot of new musicals out, but it's I think we've hit a boom in which we're using so much more nostalgia. Musicals based on movies. You got Beetlejuice just recently, Mean Girls. You're making all these nostalgic pieces into Broadway shows, which I'm not bashing. I'm a big fan of those. I love Beetlejuice, but that's the thing. Like you said, we're in a bit of a recession in which we do have new ideas. It's just not as much as we do revivals or reviving
Yeah.
certain nostalgic properties or things that we know um, because of our past or something. But yeah, no, I agree with that.
I think it's also that our generation and the generation before us both grew up in a time where art was huge and it was booming. And now that we're seeing a recession, we yearn to go back to it. And the only way we know how is by, literally going back to it and striving for that. So that is definitely one of the key things. Mean Girls and SpongeBob are both really good musicals, though, and it puts butts in seats. That is
That's
true.
true.
But is to some extent, the point of Broadway is to make money. If you didn't make money, it wouldn't be there.
That's true.
But how much is that extent? And to how much extent is the point of Broadway to produce good art? Because I think that in a being an artist and being artistic and knowing that I, am in the career where everybody says, "Oh, so you're never going to make any money." Being in that career, I know that I have to do stuff to make money, but I also am bound by this desire to create just art. And I think there are people out there that can do that well. I think there are a lot of people out there that can do that well. I think Jordan Peele is one of the people that can do that
Oh
well.
my God.
I think that Jordan Peele is writing original content like Us and Get Out. I think those are original works. They're in the horror genre, so if you're not into horror, then that unfortunately you won't have seen them. But they're works of art, and they are both artistic and sellable. I think that is important. Whereas stuff like redoing Mean Girls, but as a musical, and redoing SpongeBob, but as a musical, aren't as artistic as original content is. Because that art has already been done. We're doing something to add to it that also has to stay true to it.
I don't know. I think
It's
it
a
still
form of
counts as
art.
art. It's yeah, but I think it still counts. It's just, you're making your own art with this, say with these specific colors that you're given.
Yeah.
And
I agree. I just don't think it's the same as original. It's just not. You are given a set palette. You're given a set of tools, and you have to use those.
Yeah, but you're still creating a good, a good worthwhile story that you otherwise probably wouldn't have seen that property do, on TV. Like for example, like Dog Sees God, fantastic play, but it is really just like older versions of Charlie Brown's characters, of the Peanuts characters.
Yeah.
You still get that, but you're still given those characters in that setting, but you're given again, a very compassionate and very worthwhile story that otherwise wouldn't have made it into any Peanuts movie.
That's actually who I was just going to talk about, Matt. I don't know if any of you have seen Bo Burnham's new comedy special.
Watch it because it's masterful.
If you can call it a comedy special. It's an artistic masterpiece. It is something that artists analyze and something that people who just want to laugh don't understand. And it's super unfortunate because it's a little less sellable.
I laughed.
I laughed too. It broke me. It is so good. Yeah, I agree. I think it's great. It's very existential, and I don't think it's as marketable as his others. And I don't think it's comedy. I don't think it's just straight comedy. I think it's art. And it's super good, and I highly recommend it. And
also, I've been in a very existential kick, so also check out My Dinner with Andre.
So is everybody. Everybody's in that kick.
We're on lockdown.
So I don't think either of us, Noah, have seen or heard of A Strange Loop. Have you, Adrian?
I have not. Just wrote it down. Gonna check it out after this.
That's awesome. I'll have to check it out as well, Noah.
Thank you, Noah.
Yeah, so Bo Burnham's new special, which is called Inside, is not for everyone. It's very existential. It's definitely an artistic masterpiece, and you definitely have to go into it knowing that it's not going to be ha-ha funny. It's going to be like, oh, I thought about that, and that is funny. But you you can't just watch it while playing on your phone or whatever. Actually, I think he says that in the show. I think he's like, are they really listening, or are they just playing on their phone? And I'm like, that's hilarious. But
no, this one I actually just stared at the screen the whole time.
Yeah, you couldn't not.
I couldn't look, because the second I was going to look away, they did this thing where, I don't know if I forgot what part of the special it was, but there was this one specific frame that had the little, I think it was him on his Twitch position.
It popped up.
And it popped for like a split second. I was like, no, I can't look away. Clearly, I cannot look away.
No, it's great. It's so good. But anyway, I think that's enough talking about art for the day. I think it's safe to say...
And some money.
And some money. I think it's safe to say that if either of us were millionaires, we would definitely invest in the entertainment industry and try to build up, especially young artists. I have noticed that I just want to say, too, I just watched the Ratatouille musical, which was a TikTok musical, like legitimately. It was written, performed, created, everything by a bunch of TikTok creators. And I'm too old for TikTok, which feels weird to say that I'm too old for anything. But I'm just too old.
I see some people in their 50s on it.
Yeah, but I'm too old for TikTok. I don't get it. I don't like it. It's just not. It's
no.
not
I get you. There's a handful of things that I'm very out of touch with on
Thanks,
TikTok.
Liz. I appreciate you. But there's exactly. I'm too old for TikTok. I don't get it. And so I never really caught on to the TikTok musical trend. And then all of a sudden I heard about Ratatouille the musical, and I was like, that's lame. And immediately wrote it off, nothing. I was looking for new stuff, new content on YouTube the other day, and Ratatouille the TikTok musical popped up, and I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a chance. And it's bad. I mean, it was in the, no, let me rephrase that.
Let me finish.
let me finish. The production quality of it is bad. It was in the middle of the pandemic, and so it was all Zoom calls, and it was a bunch of actual Broadway artists and like pop stars. Adam Lambert was in it. Titus Burgess, I don't know. Titus was in it. Wayne Brady was in it. Like, it was just a thousand, like, names. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. It was super good, but it was poorly edited, and it just wasn't, it didn't, like, really click. There was a lot of, it was a little cringy. But, that being said, music, fantastic. Like, everything about it was good. And it was written by a bunch of, like, 14 to 20-year-olds. Like, it's stupid. And
Doesn't that piss you off?
Yeah, it does. And so it was like these really young people are being very creative. And even though it is, in this case, a remake, I think that young artists are very creative. And I think that young artists definitely have what it takes to make another boom in the industry. And so if I were rich, I would definitely invest in some young artists.
Oceana says, so kind of like what they did with the retelling of Princess Bride.
I'm confused.
I didn't know there was a retelling.
I didn't know there was a retelling either. And
Link, please.
yeah, also drop that in the Discord, please. You have all the cool stuff. What's up,
guys? Whatever shows or what have you want us to look at, send us a link.
Please,
I'm bored.
Please drop them in the Discord. We would absolutely love to watch that content that you're into. And we'll talk about it on stream. I'd love to do stuff like that. I'd love to do like movie reviews and stuff like that on stream as well. As soon as I get a better computer, it'll happen. But
that's what we would do with money.
Yeah, exactly. But with that, I think we are going to have to call it a day or an evening or whatever it is. We're going to end the stream today. And we will definitely have more on this topic as well, I'm sure, as a bunch of others that we have cut short. So, with that being said, Adrian, do you want to take us out? Oh!
Take us out or take us out?
Take us out. No, before you take us out, I always forget to mention this, but we do have a raid command. And we have a sub-raid command if you're a sub. So I'll drop it in Discord. Jack Black and a ton of people are in it. That's awesome. But yeah, we have a raid command and a sub-raid command. So if you are a sub, feel free to copy and paste that sub-raid command. If you are not a sub, feel free to copy and paste that raid command and say hello to the folks that we're raiding. I'm sure they would love to know that that you're coming from us. We would appreciate that.
Yes, please.
And with that being said, now, Adrian, would you like to take us out?
I would love to. So, guys, thanks again for sticking around, even with these with these technical difficulties. But as always, thank you for hanging out with us. We love hanging out with you. Be safe, take care, and remember that a telltale sign of you becoming an adult is when you first realize how freaking fast dust forms. Please send me more suggestions.
Until I first met you, I was lonesome. And when you came inside, dear, my heart grew light and this whole world seemed new to me. You're really swell, I have to admit you deserve expressions that really fit you. And so I've racked my brain hoping to explain all the things that